Well, he also I know we won't belabor the creative part of it, but too long. But he also unlocked the biggest thing in the. Remember, he sent us a 10-minute voice memo.
It was more like 17 minutes.
Which is a terrifying thing to get from anyone. You're like, 17 minutes.
You won't believe the whirlwind unfolding around Ryan Reynolds right now. Just when you thought you knew everything about Hollywood's golden boy, fresh reports are setting the internet ablaze. Marvel, the studio that practically prints money, has reportedly dropped receipts that are casting a jaw-dropping light on a behind-the-scenes situation many dismissed as mere rumor. For weeks, whispers have circulated about Ryan, Mr. Congeniality himself, allegedly having an uncharacteristic outburst during a major Marvel project. Fans scoffed. Ryan Reynolds? Meltdown? Impossible. He's the king of charm, the master of wit, the guy who makes everyone feel at ease. But now, these alleged receipts from Marvel are starting to paint a different picture, suggesting tensions were indeed sky high, with Ryan right at the center of it all. They say these receipts, production logs, internal memos, maybe even on-set footage references, reveal a far more complex reality than the breezy fan-favorite persona we've all come to adore. And in the wake of these revelations, whispers are growing louder that Ryan is deeply unsettled. Some even say panicking about the potential fallout. How did this all begin, and where could it possibly lead? Let's piece together this unfolding drama.
No, I mean, I always thought I'd end up as in law enforcement, like my family. So I didn't imagine that acting was a way to get out of the house. It wasn't really like a passion when I was a kid. It was something that I was already doing at home, you know, to survive. So you kind of, I noticed when I was a kid, making people laugh was a great self-defense mechanism. It really helped me kind of navigate my way through my own home with my older brothers and my dad, and I could diffuse them by making them laugh.
For so long, the Ryan Reynolds story was a Hollywood fairy tale. Comedic genius effortlessly transitions into the Marvel universe. Charm and perfect comedic timing, instant hit. He became beloved, not just by audiences, but seemingly by everyone he worked with. Talk show anecdotes? Hilarious. Social media presence? King of self-deprecating humor. His public image was, and is, squeaky clean, almost suspiciously so. People have genuinely wondered if the real Ryan ever has a bad day. But that carefully constructed image is now facing its biggest test yet, thanks to these alleged Marvel receipts. Evidence, some are calling it, that might just confirm the rumored on-set meltdown. Raised voices, intense verbal clashes. Fans are reeling from the very idea that their favorite Marvel star might not be the constant ray of sunshine they believed him to be, and many are bracing themselves, wondering what other revelations might leak out. Is the facade starting to crack?
I would say that they're more surprises because they have beginnings, middles, and ends. They're not like, it's not just like a, hey, there's the person and we move on. It's they're there for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you said it just earlier, but I wanted to go back on that. You think that this might be the greatest film that you've...
I mean, look, most of the time when the movie is this much fun to make, you out bad.
It all began a few weeks ago when the rumor mill kicked into overdrive. Unverified stories started circulating about Ryan raising his voice at co-stars. Initially, these accounts seemed too outlandish to take seriously. How could the Ryan Reynolds, the epitome of easygoing charm, lose his composure so completely that it became a thing? Then came the hints, dropped by unnamed production staff claiming that while Ryan was universally liked, certain creative disagreements were starting to boil over. Specifically, it was suggested that comedic bits were being endlessly revised, leading to palpable tension between him and members of the crew, and even fellow actors who felt overshadowed by his larger-than-life presence. At first, these whispers were dismissed as typical set gossip, the kind that swirls around every major production. But now, with Marvel allegedly dropping receipts that many are interpreting as backing up crucial details of these stories, the conversation has dramatically escalated. What started as whispers are now beginning to sound like roars.
Yeah. My relationship with my father, which was very complicated and difficult. My dad was a very, I come from a middle class, kind of blue-collar home, and my dad was just of that generation where it's just like, he was Clint Eastwood, less is more. Simple grunts is how he communicated.
Okay, gotcha.
I think people tell themselves stories, and this sort of comes back to your worldview that you just mentioned about.
The exact nature of these receipts remains shrouded in mystery, fueling even more speculation. Some say they include an internal report detailing scheduling stress, pointing to Ryan's alleged insistence on multiple script rewrites that stretched the entire production to its breaking point. Others claim the receipts are far more explicit, like documented notes referencing a specific on-set incident, a moment where tensions reached a boiling point. A small but vocal subset of fans even believes there could be a snippet of video or audio capturing an intense moment of confrontation. While Marvel hasn't officially released anything publicly, no statement confirming or denying the meltdown rumors, sources close to the studio claim these receipts have been shared internally, and crucially, they may have been the basis for a more cautious approach to the film's promotional strategy. The reaction among fans has been a cocktail of shock, disappointment, and uneasy curiosity. If Marvel itself is acknowledging these receipts behind the scenes, it implies there's something there they can't simply brush aside as a fabricated story. The mystery deepens. What exactly do these receipts contain?
Well, that is also accurate and weirdly high praise as well. It was just one of those. It felt like a live-action Pixar movie. It was something that, I wanted to do something where nobody was being stabbed in the face.
Yes.
There was almost no blood at all. I think I got a little paper cut on the movie. That was about it. And something that my kids can watch, but also as a parent, too, you want the parents need to get punched right in the heart as well.
Ryan's public response to all of this, at least on the surface, has been to carry on as if nothing is amiss. Scroll through his social media and you'll still find the usual: jokes, snapshots of family moments, enthusiastic references to the upcoming film. Business as usual, but industry insiders paint a very different picture, suggesting that behind closed doors, he's far from calm. Word has it he's working overtime to contain the impact of these revelations before they spiral into a full-blown public relations nightmare. No one wants the film's release to be overshadowed by controversy, yet that risk now seems all too real. If the details in these newly surfaced receipts are compelling enough, fans might become more focused on the off-screen drama than the actual storyline of the movie itself. Ryan, usually a master at spinning comedic gold out of any awkward situation, may find it incredibly difficult to do so if this rumored meltdown is indeed documented in a way that leaves little room for alternative explanations. Is this calculated calm, or is it panic masked by public composure? Longtime Ryan Reynolds supporters are quick to argue that even if the meltdown rumors are true, it must have been a momentary lapse, an anomaly. They point out the obvious. Film sets are incredibly stressful environments. Budget pressures, tight timetables, creative disagreements. Sometimes tensions flare, and heated disputes erupt. The idea that Ryan might have simply had one bad day shouldn't erase years of positive behavior. These receipts, they argue, could simply reflect an isolated incident, perhaps taken completely out of context to appear far more damning than it actually was. But others offer a counterpoint, a crucial reality check. This is Marvel we're talking about, a studio that typically projects an image of unwavering unity. If these receipts are serious enough that insiders are describing them as game changers, then the tension might be more than just a one-off event. It might indicate deeper, underlying frustrations that have been quietly building for some time. Stories like this are hardly new in Hollywood. Over the years, many beloved celebrities have faced unexpected controversies when the reality of their behind-the-scenes conduct clashed violently with their carefully curated public images. Sometimes it's a simple misunderstanding, quickly resolved. Other times it reveals a side of a star that fans never anticipated. The difference here? Marvel is typically vigilant about controlling the narrative around its productions. The very fact that receipts exist and that they're being talked about at all strongly suggests the situation may have reached a tipping point.
About a month ago, this really hit home with me too. About a month ago, I was sitting in traffic and I was just like jamming These Dreams by heart. I was killing it in the car. And there was just this busload of high school kids that were parked right beside me. I didn't even realize. I looked over and every one of their jaws were just on the ground, laughing their friggin' guts out at me.
Rumor has it that the cast and crew have been advised to keep a low profile for now, presumably to avoid further inflaming tensions, while the higher-ups at Marvel figure out the best approach to damage control. Even so, whispers continue to leak, fueling an endless swirl of speculation. Some fans are now openly worrying about how these developments might affect future installments in the franchise. Ryan is undeniably a key figure in the Marvel sphere, beloved for injecting humor and personality into a cinematic universe that thrives on variety variety. If, however, this turmoil proves to be more extensive than initially assumed, it could seriously complicate his next steps. It's one thing to weather a single controversy. Hollywood moves fast, and public attention can shift just as quickly, especially if a film is successful. But if Marvel is spooked enough to reevaluate their collaboration with Ryan, we might see a significant shift in how his character is featured going forward. Others argue that's an overreaction, given Ryan's immense star power. In their view, Marvel would never risk cutting ties over what might be an isolated incident, especially if the project still has blockbuster potential. In the midst of all this swirling uncertainty, another layer of intrigue has emerged. Speculation about who leaked the existence of these receipts in the first place. Marvel is known for its vault-like confidentiality. Everyone, from top executives to background extras, often signs rigorous non-disclosure agreements. So how did the knowledge of these receipts find its way into the public sphere? Is it a disgruntled staff member trying to damage Ryan's reputation for reasons unknown? Or perhaps an individual who genuinely believes the public deserves to know the truth behind the carefully constructed Hollywood facade? Still others hypothesize that the leak could be part of a behind-the-scenes power play. Large-scale productions sometimes involve conflicting visions, with different factions jockeying for influence. In that scenario, revealing these receipts could be a strategic move, designed to gain leverage or push for certain changes. Ryan, for his part, has not addressed the receipts directly in any public forum. Those close to him claim he's trying to keep everything contained, hoping it will all blow over in time for the film's promotional phase. Historically, he's shown a remarkable ability to use humor and sincerity to navigate uncomfortable topics. Fans remember how he's gently joked about previous controversies and personal missteps, successfully diffusing tension with a well-timed quip. But the crucial question lingers: can even his comedic spin possibly lessen the impact if Marvel's new receipts turn out to be truly revealing? If they capture a side of him that no witty remark can gloss over, that uncertainty is precisely what's fueling the rumors that he's in full-blown panic mode, strategizing with managers and publicists, desperately trying to figure out how to address this matter without admitting too much. The real story behind the leak remains as elusive as the full contents of the receipts themselves. The perspective from Marvel insiders is equally fascinating and just as divided. Some employees apparently think the entire situation is wildly overblown. They argue that Ryan's alleged meltdown was no different from what countless other actors have experienced under immense production stress. It's just being magnified, they say, because of his generally pristine reputation. Others, however, believe there's far more to these receipts than just an isolated blow-up. They hint at the possibility that Ryan tried to influence storylines or comedic content to an extent that deeply frustrated collaborators who wanted to stick to a more balanced approach. If this is the case, the meltdown might reflect a far deeper rift about creative direction. This behind-the-scenes friction, they speculate, could have escalated under the pressure of tight deadlines and sky-high expectations, culminating in that rumored heated moment, now apparently documented in Marvel's internal files. Meanwhile, fans are left to sift through a flood of online commentary, every blog post, every tweet, every video analysis offering yet another theory about what these receipts might reveal. Some claim that if the content is ever released, it could be as simple as a timestamped log referencing a heated argument. Others imagine far more dramatic possibilities, like partial transcripts of intense creative sessions, or even leaked audio clips. The entire situation evokes a strong sense of deja vu, recalling instances in other large franchises where behind-the-scenes tension completely overshadowed the final product. Those who love Ryan's comedic flair are now torn. They crave clarity, wanting to know the truth, but simultaneously dreading the possibility that the star they admire might have a more abrasive side lurking beneath the surface. With no official statement from either Ryan or Marvel, we're witnessing the raw power of speculation run wild. Is this a storm in a teacup or a genuine crisis brewing behind the Hollywood smiles? Looking beyond the immediate drama, the potential long-term consequences for Ryan's career are becoming a significant part of the conversation. While some believe this controversy will blow over quickly, particularly if the film performs well, others are less certain. In an industry where image is everything, even a whisper of a difficult reputation can have lasting repercussions. Will studios be as eager to cast him in leading roles? Could this affect endorsement deals? The answers remain unclear, but the stakes are undeniably high. For Marvel specifically, the situation presents a delicate balancing act. Ryan is a valuable asset, a box office draw with a massive global fan base. However, studios are also increasingly sensitive to public perception and the need to maintain a positive and harmonious work environment. Depending on the true nature of the receipts and how Marvel chooses to handle this internally, Additionally, we could see subtle but significant shifts in their future collaborations with Ryan. The industry is watching closely, wondering if this rumored meltdown will be a temporary blip or a more permanent stain on his otherwise stellar career. Ultimately, much remains unknown, and we are still in a waiting game. The core questions persist. What exactly is in these Marvel receipts? Will they ever be made public, or will Marvel succeed in keeping them tightly under wraps? And perhaps most importantly, how will Ryan himself address this situation, if at all? His next public appearance, his next interview, will be heavily scrutinized for any hints, any clues about the truth behind the rumors. The silence from official channels continues to fuel speculation, creating a vacuum filled with theories and conjecture, until either Marvel or Ryan Reynolds directly addresses the allegations, or until more concrete information leaks out. The entertainment world and legions of fans are left in a state of suspense. This unfolding drama serves as a stark reminder of the power of rumors in the digital age, and how quickly a carefully constructed celebrity image can be challenged, even potentially fractured, by whispers and alleged behind-the-scenes turmoil. The final act of this Hollywood drama is yet to be written, and the world is watching to see how it will play out. And amidst all this swirling drama, fans haven't forgotten about the actual movie. They're still excited about character arcs, major plot developments, and how this storyline ties into the broader Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yet, every conversation about these topics now includes a side discussion, a nagging question. What role will Ryan's rumored meltdown play in potentially overshadowing the entire cinematic experience? It's a stark testament to how potent behind-the-scenes drama can become, sometimes eclipsing even the biggest creative endeavors. Some fans express a hopeful sentiment, believing that if the final product is truly exceptional, if it's a knockout film, the gossip will eventually fade. After all, audience reception often focuses primarily on what hits the screen, but if the meltdown rumors bleed into the press tours and Q&A sessions, relentlessly overshadowing the film's artistic merits, Marvel might be forced to come clean, one way or another. For Ryan himself, this could very well be the biggest test of his career. He's a master at winning hearts with humor and authenticity, but the rumored meltdown and the ominous notion of Marvel dropping receipts adds layers of uncertainty and complexity to his carefully crafted persona. If indeed he's panicking, as some insiders suggest, one can hardly blame him. A single slip in an industry as relentless and unforgiving as this can completely reconfigure the narrative around a celebrity, seemingly overnight. In the end, whether these events turn out to be a storm in a teacup, quickly forgotten, or a genuine turning point in Ryan Reynolds' career, depends entirely on how this story unfolds in the coming weeks and months. All eyes are now fixed on Marvel and on Ryan Reynolds himself, waiting to see who steps forward to confirm, deny, or reinterpret these swirling rumors. And crucially, everyone is waiting to see if these alleged receipts prove to be as damaging as so many now believe. The truth, like the contents of those mysterious documents, remains to be revealed.